West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Alright, what quite busy week it is, and I mean it is still the school reopening week. Today happens to be the 5th of February, the year is 2025. It means we are already 3 days that is into the school reopening week. But the question is, as a parent out there, why is your child still with you at home, and when do you plan to send them back to school? These are the questions you should be asking yourself as a parent out there. But not only also to the parents alone, to the guardians, because you could just be a guardian. This is the question you should also as well be asking yourself this morning as we start off your day with the Kokoliriko live show. It's also really a busy week, and I really want to show you so many things that have happened, and so many things as well continue to happen. We already seeing the UPDF. As I was coming to work, I was able to see a number of them camped, that is at the mayor's garden, and I do understand this is also really in preparations for the Tarehe Sita, which is also really going on, where they are cleaning the streets. And I was able to see the Arua city looking cleaner than before, but I'm not undermining the cleaners who have been doing their works. I want to show you that I was able to move at the administration block of Arua city, and really it is cleanness all over. And I do understand this is because the UPDF was able to do its role of giving back the society, and this is also an indication that the UPDF is not a force that is not also working together with the community, but them working with the community to get together, as we are seeing, is a clear manifestation that this is a people's army. But really at times we tend to also see them also turning against the civilians, like the case we are seeing happening. And of course many people who are aware of the affairs of current affairs must be knowing what exactly happened yesterday, where there was no show at court also really for that retired Colonel Kizza Besigye, really following also a recent pronouncement that all civilians who are being tried also already at the military courts must cease, and therefore they must be transferred all, that is the civilian courts, if at all they are to be tried. And really for Besigye, we notice that happening, and many people also have been able to talk about this. And really in most cases the attachment also goes back to the forces, because this is a military court after all that also is being run by officers also attached to also the force in there. But now we did see court also issuing a guideline that also the operations of the military court must cease, and we did see that happening. But we are still following up and want to see if at all civilians who are being tried, that is at the military court, also will be transferred, that is our ordinary courts. And I believe that is something also which many people out there could also as well be waiting to see. But of course that was something we did say yesterday, and lawyers also representing, that is retired Colonel Kizza Besigye, that is together with his counterpart Haj Obedutalia, vowed to also continue with this. And we did see Martha Karua, a Kenyan lawyer who recently also obtained a temporary practicing license to also practice his to practice her law also in Uganda, was also really able to also come out and respond on this, and was able to also issue a statement in there. But we are still following up on, want to see how of course this will be ending, as many people out there continue to follow up on these discussions. And this goes back to you, the viewer. Definitely you can be also of great importance to share opinions in relation to what you think could also be done, and maybe what we think is going to be happening at the end of the day, when also the Dr. Kizza Besigye, who was set to appear yesterday, was also not able to also show up in there. That means he wasn't brought also to appear on, that's in court in there. But what do you think will happen in the long run? Are we expecting something also to happen? Definitely that is also entirely into your hands as the viewer to make the judgment in there, as we are still waiting for court's judgment and court ruling also on the same matter in there. Because if you look at what happened, many people could be wondering why Dr. Kizza Besigye was arrested. I really want to inform you that he was picked from Kenya, where also it is alleged that he was picked with firearms and ammunition, and really many people have expressed mixed reactions about this, because first and foremost, this was a case that was said to be committed in another territory, in another also jurisdiction in there. But really, why would it also really be tried. In the court, this is another question many people have been asking themselves, but that is entirely in the hands of court, and we are still following up on one year, of course, that will be ending in there. As we are still moving on, remember the exercise that's for the voter verification is still going on. Have you taken part? Because for me, I have not taken part because of the irregularities that also really marring this exercise. And if you look at this exercise, I really want to assure you it is one of the disorganized exercises I've ever seen. I really want to say this. I'll also really say it again. It is one of those activities that is highly witnessing what I should say irregularities, because for 2 to 3 days, somebody is here, the following day you are preparing to move there. The person is nowhere to be seen. The team is nowhere to be seen, and locating the next also really spot is really a tug of war, and this is why many people are going to be left out. And I did see recently Forum for Democratic Change Party coming out on also really issuing their concern over this same exercise, which also happened this week. And I really want to assure you that many people out there as well also not happy about this exercise because of the irregularities. And I don't know that this is because the machines are not enough to be taken to each parish. That is it, and that is where we are forced to move from village to village, and that is also something that is going to be affecting the credibility of the same exercise. And I really want to show you that it's going to be affecting the credibility, and this can also be done on personal assessments, as you, the viewer, also could be asking yourself, have you taken part? Or else the question should be, do you know where the people are camping for the next few days? Because if you look at today is 5th, we are counting down 5 days to the end of this exercise, which started also already around 20th and running up to, that is the 10th of this month. And really many people have not taken part in this. Why? Because people do not know where it is taking place, and that's why many people are being left out. And I really want to show you, if this continues this way, then the credibility of this exercise is going to be questioned. Yes, it's going to be questioned, and where we shall be seeing also people not being happy with the outcomes and the results of all this exercise that is going to be happening. But we hope, all in all, we shall be seeing this also really yielding the fruits, yielding the impacts, as we want to see this also really work to the best of also the next general elections, because this is an exercise that was targeting, first of all, new voters, people who had never voted before, and this could have been people who just clocked 18 of recent, and then those who had not also really known where the polling stations are. It was going to be enabling them to identify where their next polling stations are. But if at all we are seeing now this also really leaving out many people, then I don't know how it will be impacting on the 2026 general elections, because this is an exercise. This is actually a milestone. It's a process that also involves leading us to the next general elections. But if at all we are witnessing a lot of also irregularities within this exercise, and then definitely many people are going to be also really not happy with the outcomes, and we hope at the right time we shall be seeing EC doing something about this. Because first of all, look at the timing. 20th from 20th to 10th of also really March. That is an exercise which started in February last month to 20th. How many days are this, and how huge is the population of this country for this exercise? And I really want to show you the days, in my own opinion, are not enough. And this is why we expected electoral commission to also make sure we had temporary sites where this exercise could be done, and then that would, at the end of the day, make sure that we obtain a credible data also in terms of also people's also information. And that's something at the end of the day, if at all, if they made it also to be done on personal basis, maybe online, many people, I believe, could have done this, because the internet is very readily available. Many people also have the smartphones and access to it. And I believe this would also greatly improve on the outcomes of this result. But that's so entirely in the hands of EC now to have a look into that, as I do understand the EC chairperson, that is also already, that is Justice also Simon Biabakama, is soon expected to be in the region, and that is also another area where, if at all he makes it, we shall be looking forward to also having some of these questions also asked to him in there. But that's something entirely we are leaving with a discussion aside with, as we are counting down just 4 minutes to lead us into the short commercial break. That's where we are going to be pausing. But before that, we still have a lot to discuss with you as the viewer, as so many things continue to happen where we're able to see school recently opening, but I am still dismayed to see some of the school-age going children still linger within communities. That leaves me with the question, shall we also be there to blame the teachers when the results are being released? Because on the first day, our learners continue to remain with us for 1 week, for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, they're still with us. Now what if UNEB sets something that is being taught on the first day? Are we there to blame the teachers? Are we there to blame the city authorities? It means we as parents are not doing enough. Yes, I must say this. Despite the schools also not doing enough, we as the parents are to blame because we're not doing enough. We're not supporting the schools enough when it comes to issues of monies, when it comes to issues of sending our learners to school early. We need mindset change. We need mindset change as this region because we are able to see 2 of our districts appearing on the tail of also the ratings when it comes to the national statistics. Something which I must say does not make us happy. But I was able to ask one of the district leaders in which also these poor results were being obtained. He actually told us understaffing is a great contributor to the kind of poor performance we did see, like also in the districts, which name I wouldn't also want to mention. And he also really said understaffing is really eating up the districts also where this performance was being witnessed, and I really want to agree to this. I hope also the government can do something when it comes to issues also really of improving the teacher-to-learner ratio, because most of the times this is where the poor performance is resulting from. Look at our UP schools. A school population of, I should say maybe 500 is having less than 10 teachers. What do we expect at the end of the day? These teachers are first of all going to be burdened when it comes to issues of also handling all these classes, and then concentration on learners is going to be lacking, because if the population is quite huge, a teacher will not be knowing which learner in class is contributing. A teacher will not be knowing the behavior of each and every learner. But for the private schools where the population is a bit small, a teacher will be knowing the learners one by one. If you think I'm lying, if your learner was in a private school and was performing well, this time around the child has not reported, the teachers are going to be calling. They are calling. They will be asking, what is happening? Where is our student? Where is our pupil? That means it is also something that's coming up as a result of the staffing gap in these private schools, where the teachers are able to know their learners on a personal basis, something which I believe is also really fueling and also really impacting on the kind of good performance we are seeing in these private schools. But that is also something we are not also to blame the government alone on. But what about those learners that are still within us in the villages? What are we doing as parents? What are we doing as community members? Because to educate or to raise or educate a child is not only a parent's role. Some of us were raised by the community. I really want to show you that the community had a great performance and contribution also really into educating us. Some of us, personally, like me, I was also really entirely supported by sometimes the community members, where sometimes where I would black, the community members would come to my rescue. 1 or 2 people in the society would come to my rescue, and that's something which I agree with, that to raise a child needs the whole community. What are we doing now to see that also no child remains in our society? It must start with you as the parents before the community members come to your rescue. And that's where we are going to be pausing with the discussions as we run for a short commercial break. When we get back, the discussions will be able to follow. And this is still a Kokoliriko live show on West Nile Television with me, Farish Majid, where we are live on Star Times, that's channel 477, and Azam, we're on 369, as well as on Zuku, that's where we're on channel 0073. And of course online across all our social media platforms. The region is still mourning the demise of one of our prominent daughters, that is Martha Okumuringa, who is from the district, and really we did see her passing on. That is also in one of the countries, but by yesterday we were able to see her body arriving in this country. We still want to continue to mourn with the people of Nebi and the entire greater Nebi belt, as well as the entire West Nile sub-region, upon the demise of one of our daughters who was also raising our flag very high at the international scene. But we are still also praying that this also is something that comes from God, because usually we say as Muslims, we come from God, and definitely we shall be returning back to God. But I will be having more of that discussion after this short commercial break. But for now, We are taking a rest and the discussions will be able to follow. My name is Farish Majid. Stay tuned.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
In the dance of shadows and light lies the heart of Uganda's resilience amidst the challenges of the night, where innovation meets necessity and education refuses to be dimmed, where connection thrives in the absence of power. Embrace the power of the sun with StarTime's solar range of solutions. And empower your journey towards a brighter tomorrow. StarTime Solar. Power your life.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back into also the second half of the show. We are still also moving on, and our final destination, of course, remains 9 o'clock. And this is the Kokoliriko live show on West Nile Television that comes your ways every Mondays to Fridays, right from 7 o'clock up to 9. With me, Farish Majid, where on some occasions we also involve and also invite people of substance, where we bring them to also educate you, also where we ask them on some occasions, of course. Yes, when you still continue to look at some of the issues that continue to happen in the country, definitely quite many things are happening, and this is also really in the means also really of, first of all, peace. If you look at the rural city and West Nile at large, kind of now it's a bit peaceful, where we are still seeing no issues of criminality except one that was in Mita Ward in Committee also the area that is also in the Ive West in there, where there was also a case where an old woman also was also confirmed dead in an inferno, where her house also caught fire. She tried also to rescue her property. She was able to also perish in this inferno in there. But really, despite that, maybe besides that, we are still seeing the region a bit peaceful. It goes back to you and the entire community members to maintain this, that we are still seeing also some bit of also peace happening in the country, and at the end of the day, we are still praying to see a number of also good things also happening. But that's sort of where we need to also pause with the discussions. And as we talk about security, it's also really upon you to make sure that you fight for your own security first of all. And this goes back to the people in business, and the armed robbers are not sleeping. We are now seeing cases of attacks on mobile money operators returning. This is in Jinja, where we're able to see a mobile money agent gunned down near Jinja security boss's home, and this is something which we did see, and it's being reported on the morning papers of Daily Monitor in here, where a mobile money float agent has been shot a day that is near the home of Jinja resident city commissioner in eastern Uganda, where Monelo Pussy, a field float agent attached to that Skeshola group of companies that conducts mobile money businesses on behalf of Airtel Uganda in Jinja City, was attacked by unknown assailants suspected to be robbers near the residence that is of Mr. Richard Gulume in Buekula Parish in Jinja North Division. Now, resident city commissioner Gulume, who doubles as the chairperson of Jinja Security Committee, also confirmed that gunmen opened fire on a man who had also brought float on to a mobile money shop operator. And in fact, also I am at the scene, which is just 2 houses also past the home of RCC, Mr. Gurume, who also did confirm that in there. And we were able to see the area parish internal security officer, Mr. Richard Kwewabuli, also commenting on that. And according to him, the gunmen were traveling in a Toyota Primo, which also sped off after also they shot a Pussy in the ribs, and he died at Jinja Regional Referral Hospital, where he was rushed by Al-Shaf Modern Hospital, where he was first admitted. Well, what could have gone wrong, and what exactly could have resulted also into this attack is what remains unknown, as police is now carrying its own investigations, and we hope at the end of the day the killers will be identified, and what also could have resulted into this also could be identified as well, because we are seeing cases of such nature happening also day by day. We still continue to register cases of attacks on mobile money operators, across the entire country, but really something needs to be done. The security of this person needs to be improved, and I believe also sometimes it is resulting as a result of robbery. But sometimes beyond that, really we need to also make sure that we do not move with money. This goes back to people into this business. Your security is first into your hands. You must make sure you do not also move anyhow with the monies. You do not also have to maybe move in a way that somebody can't be identifying you with money. It really is also something which we must also be mindful of. And the exact amount of money taken from a pussy by their silence also is not clear, but also the scene estimated the money to be around 20 million. Just because of 20 million, you end up somebody's life. How long are you going to be eating 20 million? I really want to assure you that 20 million today is nothing if not well used. 20 million, personally, can be eaten within 2 weeks. It's done. Yes, within 2 weeks, 2 million is 20 million, which also sounds very huge. Can be eaten. But this is also something you shouldn't also end up somebody's life with. If you need money, maybe you could go for the money, but not ending up somebody's life, because just imagine a life where this person has been supporting very many people. What kind of curse are you causing onto yourself? Yesterday I was interacting with one of the elders. He told me whoever does wrong, the results and the repercussions are doubled. I want to believe this, and he gave me an example of some of the people who also committed some of these crimes, who silently also ended up other people's lives, innocently in cold blood. The curses always follow generations. Either it's on to their children, or it also will be impacting on their great-grandchildren. So to avoid some of these curses on innocent generations, let's avoid engaging ourselves in such crimes, because just imagine a crime, maybe a cry of the family members who had been dependent on this young man whose life you've ended. Do you think these people are going to be forgiving you? They're going to be crying for the next 20 years, that next 30 years. And really, this is also something which is also really very wrong. We shouldn't also engage in wanting to get free money, and this is already as a result of people wanting free money. And we did see the RDC, Mr. Gurume, also call for more vigilance from the locals to avoid the reoccurrence of such attacks. That also really something which we must also be able to also ask ourselves on. Security is that will be provided to us, but the first security is ourselves. Let's also really engage in also really making sure that people want to attack us. And now we did see Busoga East Police spokesperson, Mr. Michael Kafayo, say the suspects also intercepted the Indian businessman near his home, that is also in Kasokoso village in Iganga municipality. And that means it is not the first case. We are still seeing part and attacks of mobile money operators in Busoga sub-region happening. It is also something which we see in Buganda, and as well as in other parts of the cities and the country. And then that means we should do something. Well, let's make sure we do something also in terms of improving our security to avoid more attacks in future. And that's also something at the end of the day we shall be able to also really follow up on. And that's one thing also which many people also want to follow up on. And we did see also really in terms of crime, police was able also, policeman was also charged over shooting a civilian in Kampala. That's something else at the end of the day we did see also in Buganda Road Chief Magistrate. Also court also really charging and remanding a policeman to Luzira government prison following an incident also really in which he was accused of shooting a civilian dead in Kampala. Now the 35-year-old Detective Constable Gefin Ampamize, who is attached, that is to Tuba Police Post, that is in Kira Road, also on Tuesday this afternoon appeared before Chief Magistrate Ronald Kaizi, who officially read the charges of manslaughter to him, and Mpumize denied the charges of manslaughter, which is contrary to Ugandan law before he was advised to apply for bail, but his suit is also present in court and lacked the required documents, and that means he was also remanded. Now prosecution led by Alan Muchunguzi told court that investigations into the matter are complete and are sought also hearing date. And now prosecution says that on December 18th of 2024 at Kingsway Plaza in Kampala Central Division, the policeman unlawfully caused the death of James Oriek Abora. And according to court, and documents that we are seeing, Ampamize and his colleague, that's Clovis, also Kiwa Misima, report that is at New Nachivo Police Post with the suspect in a mobile also phone theft case, but they also reached also the Copper Complex along Nachivubo also Green Street, and the public accused resistance and obstruction. That is something which they also resulted also into that. Is now upon conviction in Uganda, the punishment for manslaughter is imprisonment to life, as stated under Section 190 of the Penal Code Act, although also court may also issue a lesser penalty according to also the ruling so that may also come up in there. But that means we should avoid issues of wanting to take the laws into our hands. Many of times we are still seeing people wanting to take the laws into their hands, something which is quite avoidable, and you end up losing another's life, which is already very, very much bad in there. And that's something at the end of the day we hope also is very, very much also bad for us to be talking about, as we want to see cases of such nature be brought down. And that's something at the end of the day we shall be also happy of, as we want to see some of these issues be brought down. And still looking at some of the stories happening, this is on the Nile Post, where we are able to see a case also of a Khan spiritual leader, media mogul, who also died at the age of 88. Now somebody may be asking, who is this person who died and is also an investor who has been a development partner to this country? And we did see Prince Karim Al Hussein Al Khan, also the fourth, the spiritual leader of Ismaili Muslims and the key investor in Uganda's media and education sectors, has passed away at the age of 88. And a statement from a Khan Development Network confirmed also that the billionaire philanthropist died also peacefully in Lisbon, that's in Portugal, surrounded by his family. And Al Khan also the fourth was regarded as a direct descendant of the Prophet also Muhammad, became the 49th hereditary Imam of the Shia Ismaili Muslims, that's in the year 1957, at the age of 20 years. And over the decades, he built a vast global network that extended also to 30 countries, including Uganda, with investments spanning media, education, banking, as well as healthcare. Now Ugandans will also really remember him for his deep imprint that is on the country's media and education sectors, where he was also really the founder of the Nation also Media Group, which owns Daily Monitor and NTV, among other outlets. And these also the platforms also have played a crucial role in shaping Uganda's media landscape, fostering a press freedom and professional journalism in this country. And that's really something which many people are going to be remembering him for, as we want to see more of these investors also coming up. And we would also want to ask the government to support many of these investors that have come up to also really establish some of these businesses, because many of them also really could be lacking government support, and also the government policies could be suppressing many of them. And that's why the many media houses are bowing out, because the environment is not also really very much supportive. Some of these issues, some of these bodies have also not also really supported some of these entities very, very much enough. And that's something at the end of the day, my prayer will be that government should come up and create an environment that's enabling for more investors to also come up, just like Akan the Fourth, who also established some media houses in Uganda, and we would want to see many of other investors also coming up to support and create that viable environment for the media also landscape also to develop in Uganda in there. And that would also be very much good for us as a country to be talking about all this. And that's something which also will be as part of our prayers. And that's really something at the end of the day where I want to leave with the discussions with, and I really want to show you that we are now going to be pausing in here, as we want to sort of see what's happening and what's being reported in the world of sports. Recently, we did see the window closing, and I mean the transfer window, where some teams we are busy in the market. Some of the teams, sorry, we are very much idle. One of those teams that was idle is actually Arsenal Football Club, that didn't sign any player at the closing day. And many people were saying that this is also really coming out as a result of excitement, where they were able to beat Manchester City by 5-1. But the team lacks a striker. That's something also which many people are aware of. But Arsenal's Mikel Arteta also could be maybe believing and trusting the boys who are there, but they didn't sign also really a player on the transfer deadline, as some players were actually aligned to be supporting the team's forefront. That is also the goal hand, but Arsenal didn't do that, and that means we didn't set up any. But more of this discussion will be coming on the Whistle Time. But only for big league, which is also our domestic league, we are able to see them heading for a break, but we're going to be seeing them returning. That is on the 2nd of March. That's when we shall be seeing the Fabric League returning, as we shall be seeing Arroy Sports Club returning in action against Blacks Power. That is also in the Northern Derby, also in there, because both teams also are coming from the Northern Uganda. And we shall be seeing Buhimba taking on Calvary. That is still on the same date. That's 2nd of March. As Kataka will be hosting, that is also really, will be hosted by Busoga United, and Gaddafi will be taking on, that's Karo Karunji, and we shall be seeing Ntunga Sazi returning in action against, that is Chigezi Homeboys, as Ondubraga Football Club will be up in action against Paida Black Angels in another interesting West Nile derby in there. That will still be on the 2nd of March. Mark the dates, mark the calendar. That is how we shall be seeing that happening. And many people could be asking the fate of some of these clubs also to get also a promotion to the next big, also the next leagues in there, which is the Southern Uganda Premier League. I want to show you all these West Nile and Northern Uganda clubs still have chances of qualifying for the next also Southern Uganda Premier League come next season, if at all they maintain the pace and also maintain the seriousness, and if at all you, the supporters, also continue wavering also this unwavering support, also if you continue offering this unwavering support, we shall be seeing the teams also really do the needful in there. Meanwhile, for the Southern Uganda Premier League, which is our top tier Ugandan league, we shall be seeing actions returning on the 11th of also this month, where we shall be seeing also the Wakiso Giants returning in action against Sports Club Villa. We shall be seeing Vipers on the same date taking on URA Sports Club in an interesting game in there, as Lugazi will be hosting Police also on the same date. That will be on the 12th, as Express Football Club will be returning also in action against Bull. And we did see also talking about this Express Football Club. We had a player who actually left them recently and joined NEC Football Club, and I was able to see the club coach of NEC also saying he will be making this player in the names of Thierry Henry Sally, who is also a son of Bebekul, as one of these brilliant strikers we are still following up on, and we did see that also coming up from the coach of NEC Football Club, and we hope this wouldn't also remain by word of mouth, and we want to see this player be proved as one of those good players in this country we are still following up on, and of course we shall be seeing more of that also really coming up also in there. And at the international scene, we are still seeing the Copa del Rey, which will be returning tonight, as Real Madrid will be taking on Leganés, as well as the EFL semi-finals will also be returning tonight, as Newcastle will be hosting Arsenal Football Club in the return leg of these games in there. And we shall be seeing also Coppa Italia returning at the quarterfinal stages, as AS Roma will be taking on AC Milan, and we shall be seeing many other games also returning. And if you see the DFB Cup, which is in Germany, we shall be seeing Bayer Leverkusen taking on Cologne, and many other games also will be returning today. And tomorrow we shall be seeing also the Serie A returning, the Copa del Rey semi-finals will be returning also in other games in there, as we shall be seeing Real Sociedad taking on Osasuna, as Valencia will be taking on Barcelona in there. And we shall be seeing tomorrow in the Carabao also the semi-finals, second leg, as Liverpool will be taking on Tottenham Hotspur in there. We shall still be keeping you posted on more of these details and more of these games, as Owen Ezaga will be here from 2 to 3 p.m. to sort of give you that comprehensive and detailed analysis in what's happening in the world. So with that, we come to the end of the show for today, and I will be bouncing back again tomorrow, hopefully, with more also already on the Kokoliriko live show, right? Also from what is happening in the world of current affairs, with what's sort of happening in politics, and above all, with what's happening within our society. Summarize the day, as always, will always remain with what's happening in the world of sports. With that, we come to the end of the show. We'll be bouncing again also next time in the. For now, we are stopping here. I wish you the very best as you continue watching West Nile Television. I'm out. Until next time, stay tuned.